Hello everyone, my name is Manan Agarwal. I am from Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. I have secured All India rank 46 in the UPSC Civil Services Examination 2022. This was my third attempt and my optional subject was mathematics. Through this video, I would like to give you an insight into my preparation journey for this exam and also help you understand how I strategized my approach towards the exam so that you can avoid making those mistakes which I had made in my earlier two attempts and also my learnings from the third attempt as well. So I started my preparation, I remember the date, on 11th June 2019 when I was in the fourth year of college. I graduated in 2020 and immediately thereafter I gave the first attempt. In that attempt, I could fortunately clear prelims and mains both and appeared in my first interview. However, after that, I did not find my name in the final list. Subsequently, in the second attempt, I could not even clear prelims. So this was undoubtedly a huge setback for me. And I decided to take this as an opportunity to bounce back from my failure in second attempt and bounce back even stronger in the third attempt. I had almost 7 months of time at hand after not qualifying prelims before the next prelims in June 2022. And I made sure that the mistakes that I had made in my first two attempts, I would analyze them and also improve my own understanding of the subject as well as approach towards the exam so that I can improve in the third attempt. Now coming to the strategy and what learnings I learned. First of all, so I would divide it into prelims and mains and first focus on the prelims. And because I failed in the second attempt, prelims, and in the third prelims I could score more than 30 marks above the cutoff. So I believe the improvements in prelims were multifold. First of all, the improvement was in my attitude towards the questions. We generally have an attitude that whenever we see a difficult question or a question we have not heard about before, we tend to leave it. That since we have not read it, let's skip to the next. At least I had this attitude. And this led to me attempting very less number of questions, only around 81 in the second attempt. Now, I improved my approach towards the question. Even if I did not know the question, I used to brainstorm over it. I used to think of any logic that I can think of to solve this question and forget about the negative marking. This helped me in two ways. First, I got to know that in general, my accuracy over this random guess is more than 25%. And friends, we only need an accuracy above 25% to score a net positive. Let me give you an example. If you make a guess over 10 questions, a totally random guess, and let's say you get 3 correct and 7 wrong, still you will get a plus of I think 1.3 marks, and that's not a bad for anyone who is appearing in prelims. So this is one thing. And second, it also improved my ability to guess a question, and overall my accuracy towards all the questions improved. Second improvement that I made in the preparation for prelims was increase the number of revisions that I did before the exam. So in the second attempt, I only revised the entire syllabus 2 times, while in the first attempt, when I cleared the prelims, it was around 4 or 5 times. Now, since I had substantial time at hand, so I made sure that I revised the entire syllabus 6 times before the prelims exam. This improved my accuracy a lot, and in the exam, I clearly knew the questions which I knew and which I did not know. Therefore, minimizing the chances of negative marking as well as improving my own confidence in the questions that I am attempting. I think this was broadly with respect to the prelims exam. Now coming to the mains exam, in the first attempt, my overall GS aggregate score was 333. And this is, friends, as you would know, this is not at all sufficient for anyone to get their name in the final list. And I felt that I was underperforming by at least 70 marks in the GS papers. When I looked at the marks across the GS papers, in GS1, it was 75. In GS2, it was 90. In GS3, it was 82. And in GS4 it was 86. So as you can all guess that there was something lacking across all the GS papers. And as I also consulted my mentors, they also advised me that basically my approach towards answer writing is not up to the mark and I need to improve on that. And for example, if the content had been lacking, then it would have been either in GS2 or GS3 in one of the papers, but in other papers the marks would have been fine. But since the marks were average in all of them, therefore the general approach towards answer writing was not adequate. Therefore, after consulting with mentors, I received the advice that I need to write more number of points in my answers. I also need to acquire the habit of term dropping. Now this is when we drop government schemes or any sustainable development goals or some terms that appear that you have read some official reports, so that you can convey to the examiner that you are not just a general aspirant, but you have some specialized knowledge towards the subject as well. So I also tried to do that. Third, I brainstormed over a lot of questions from test series. Even though I did not have the time to solve the questions entirely by writing them the answers for 7 or 11 minutes, yet I tried to glance at the question and tried to brainstorm or scribble over the sheet of paper for 30 seconds that what kind of structure I would give to my answer. In this way, I was able to solve a large number of test series from multiple coachings in a very small number of time, and my brain was exposed to handling different types of questions in the exam. So I did not have the fear that even if I did not know the question, how would I solve it for the GS mains papers. Next, another approach was including more diagrams and structures and flowcharts in the answers. Earlier in my first attempt, I was a bit lethargic, that I would present my content and it is up to the examiner to read it and understand it and give me marks. However, as I found out, it does not work this way. We have to present the content on a platter to the examiner, so that the examiner has to apply less effort to understand it, and the lesser the effort on the part of the examiner, the more the number of marks we get. Therefore, we have to present our content in an attractive way and an easy to comprehend way. And the flowcharts and different types of Venn diagrams or other structures are very beneficial in this aspect. So friends, this was regarding the GS mains aspect. Earlier we covered the prelims aspect. Now I would also like to focus on the mental health aspect, which we sometimes, I think, is neglected during the preparation. For example, as you would recall from my own journey, I did not clear the prelims in my second attempt, and subsequently it was not just an academic setback but also a mental setback, because I had been a good student in class 10th and 12th, and also coming from an IIT background, we also often hear people around us saying that since you are from an IIT, you will also clear it in a decent amount of effort in a reasonable amount of time. So I somehow accepted those advice, and I got the reality check after my second attempt that no matter how good your background is, you have to do the grueling hard work of this exam for this exam itself. So the mental health is very important. We need a social support system. In my case, it was my family, my parents, my brother and sister, and also a small group of friends. Especially, I would like to name some of them who are not preparing for the UPSC exam, especially Arjav, Arnav, Yash, and many more, who were always there to support me, always there to talk to me, and did not make me feel lonely when I was preparing for this exam. Apart from this, I would also like to suggest that since this examination is a 3 or 4 years journey, for example, in my case, it's extended for nearly 46 months, and that is exactly the same as the rank that I secured. So the journey can be long. So in this, do not ignore your physical health. Keep interacting with your friends even if not on a regular basis, still on an occasional basis. You can stay connected. You can stay connected to a sport or even to running or jogging, so that you are good physically and you are in a good health to appear for the exam. Because friends, as you would know, the mains exam lasts for 5 days spread over 2 weekends, and we have to write 9 papers, each paper of 3 hours. So it is not just a mental task but also physically demanding. So friends, this was some of the broad pillars that I felt were important in my preparation journey, and I hope you would benefit from this. I would also like to thank GS Score. As I said, I was solving a large number of tests for the prelims exam, and I found the papers set by GS Score to be of a very high quality when I attempted them, and it was not easy to score even above 100 in those papers. So I would like to thank GS Score in that regard, and thank you so much for sparing your time and watching this video. I hope you would benefit from it.